So, Malachi chapter 2. And now, O ye priests, this commandment is to you. And think about this, right? Vincent always says this to me. Lex, Will, and Joe, they talk about it. When we come out of this version of the captivity, we are supposed to be what? A nation of priests under him, right? And I was just reminded of this earlier too, when I was listening to this guy explain, who doesn't have to go to war, right? When wartime arrives, one of the people that don't have to go to war, that's exempt from war, are what? Priests. I don't know why, but when I read this, it came back what this guy was saying to me. I was like, wow, you know? So, and listen to these, right? Because I know this was written for the time period that Malachi was living in, but it's good to remember for all times, right? Because this is what happens to you, right? When you're supposed to be the priest and you fall away from what you're supposed to do. So, if you will not hear and you will not lay to heart to give glory to my name, there it is, right? Right? It's about his name. Well, what did Othello say? Take not from me my good name, right? Saith the Ishi of hosts, I will send poverty upon you and will curse you. And will curse your blessings. Yea, I will curse them because you have not laid it to heart. See, and that's what I'm always trying to explain to people too, when we talk about who you can marry, who you can't marry. Because I've watched, again, the Black Hebrew Israelites, they like to go to, First Kings and point out, Solomon was not supposed to marry this woman, this woman, this woman. And you see, these are the white women. You weren't supposed to marry them. And then they get to the Egyptian. And I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. You've done earlier videos where you say the Egyptian, where the Egyptian and Moses look just alike, right? Then and by them looking just alike, you couldn't tell the difference. So they must have all been Afro-Asiatic melanated people, right? But then you're gonna say, skip over that part where it says don't marry them. Just find the white women part and say don't marry them, right? Who are the white women? Don't marry those women, right? No, if you're going to be fair to all of it. If you're not supposed to marry the Hittite women, and you're claiming, the Black Hebrew Israelites claiming Hittite is the white people, and then when it says you can't marry the Egyptians, you got to be on board with that too. When you're saying the Egyptians look just like the Hebrew Israelites, right? And I've always pointed out what I've learned, and this is what I had to learn after I left the Christian church. To battle against people that do that kind of stuff, you have to read the verse before and you read the verse after. So you're going to read all three verses. The verse that they want to use, you can read the verse before it, the verse that they use, and the verse after, because you're looking for context, right? That's when you find out that Psalms 53:6 is not about Jesus, the way they always say, oh, I found Jesus here. He was the one that died to forgive us. No. The servant in Psalms 53:6 is the identity to who that is given to you in Isaiah 52. But it's given even earlier than that in Isaiah. But Isaiah 52, it tells you who it is. It's the people. That who's having to pay for the iniquity. They are the servant. And then you find out that 52 and 53, these are songs that are sung by Jewish people in Israel over in Palestine to this very day. And they even know this isn't talking about Jesus. This is talking about the servant, the people. And that's when, but I mean, Lex, well, he's broke it down to us, Israel, right, is the elect. Judah is the servant. So let's get back to this. Oh, and that's what, like I said, I forgot what I was going to, when they'd use that whole argument, don't marry the Hittite woman, that's the white woman, and so on and so forth. But they exclude the Egyptian when they said the Egyptian is supposed to be black. So it's going to be like the Spider-Man meme, three Spider-Men pointing at each other, right? So you got to think about this, right? The very next verse, it tells you why the Most High told Solomon not to marry this list of women. Because of the gods their families worshipped, right? And because of the gods that their families worshipped, he knew that his heart was not like Joseph. That Joseph went through all that time in prison for being falsely accused and still came out faithful to the Most High. I don't believe I could have made that. It would have broke me. Sitting in prison for something I didn't do and being forgotten by nearly everybody at every turn. That loneliness. You know? I mean, maybe he had a friend in there. I don't know. It doesn't say. But I'm just saying that, you know, every time there was an opportunity for someone to remember him and get him out, they forgot him. And he sat even longer. But he still came out with a heart for the Most High. So the Most High tells him, hey, Solomon, you're not going to fall. If you fall for these women and you marry them, you're going to chase after their gods and goddesses. You know, and you're going to, and then it's going to take the nation away from me, the people away from me. You are their king, right? So don't marry these women. But they won't use that, right? They won't use that. And that's when I realized it's about the heart. You got two examples. You have Joseph and what he went through, being sold into slavery, being locked away, right, for being falsely accused. You have King Solomon, a chance to wish for a chance to have anything he wanted granted, and he chose wisdom when he should have chose a heart that would never depart from the Most High. Period. Bam. So, it's about the heart. And here it is telling you again, make sure your heart is with the Most High. He knows the heart. Let's see. And I will curse them because they have not laid it to heart. Behold, I will cast the shoulder to you. Oh, wait. Is that whole thing? I got a cold shoulder, colder than Chicago. I will cast the shoulder to you. Yeah, my shoulder. Stiff arm. Right? And I will scatter. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that. No, I read that right. And I will scatter upon your face the dung of your solemnities. What does solemnities mean? I don't even know why I kept trying to say solemnities. Let's see here.
The state or quality of being serious and dignified. His ashes were laid to rest with great solemnity.
Okay, so how dignified you are in the manner. Okay. And it shall take you away with it, and you shall know that I sent you this commandment, that my covenant might be with Levi, saith the Ishi of hosts. My covenant was with him of life and peace. See, when I read that now, I'm wondering I wonder if there's a treaty of Levi, and the headline would be of life and peace. Because that's what it reminds me of, like those peace and friendship and stuff like that. That's what that sounds like. My covenant of life and peace. And it's hidden away somewhere. In Spain or in Great Britain. Because, right, Spain and Great Britain seem to be the ones that wanted to sit upon the throne of Israel. Right? Judah. Because Judah was in the south, right? And Israel was in the north. Yeah. Spain to the south sits in over all the Spanish territories. Seem to be Judah, Israel to the north, northern kingdoms. I may have that backwards though. But it seems like wherever they went, whether it be Mexico, Asia, Africa, they all had their plan We want the northern kingdom. We want the southern kingdom. So, let's see. And I will give him fear. Remember, the beginning of wisdom is fear. The beginning of the Proverbs, right? First chapter. I believe it's the first verse too. The beginning of wisdom is fear of the Most High. And he feared me, and he was afraid before my name. The law, I wonder if there's a story about that, of Levi's fear and his reverence for the Most High's name, his honor for his name. You know, it's just weird to put that right there, and I wonder what that would lead to. What would be the footnotes? Anyways, the law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and in equality. That can't be. That can't be. You know, it's equity. And he turned many away from iniquity. For the lips of the priest shall keep knowledge, and they shall seek the law at his mouth. The law of what? The law of everything, right? Right? The book of Leviticus, book of Deuteronomy, Exodus, where all the laws are found. He's supposed to know it. She's supposed to know it. So when those that come with them needing to know something of the law, you're supposed to have the answers. And if you don't, you know how to find the answers. And if you don't know how to find the answers, you know the proper ceremonies to call upon the Most High. Right? I'm just saying. And they shall seek the law. Oh, I read that. Because he is the angel of the Ishi of hosts. But you have departed out of the way, and have caused many to stumble at the law. You have made void the covenant of Levi, saith the Ishi of hosts. Wherefore have I also made you contemptible, dishonored. Right? Let's look that up though, because that's what I think it would be. It would be of some shame, dishonor. Contemptible, coward, let's see.
Deserving contempt, despicable, a display of contemptible cowardice.
There you go. And the base before all people, as you have not kept my ways and accepted persons in law. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and ask a question. I really don't know the answer to that. But is that an illegus? See, that's something I want to bring up to Vince, because that's, you have accepted persons in law. Because the way I understand, in law is the only way to follow the law, right? Because you have outlaws, right? And you have in-laws. When you marry in-laws. When you break the law, you are the outlaw. And they tell you the in-law is what you want to be, right? Functioning within the law. So you have accepted persons in the law. I wonder what that would mean. Anyways, 10. Have we not all one Father? Hath not one God created us? Oh, excuse me. Elohim created us. Why then doth every one of us despise his brother. Like Deuteronomy 28, right? Let the tender man among you be, he's going to be the one that's going to be terrorized, right? Anyways, violating the covenant of our fathers, Judah hath transgressed, and abomination hath been committed in Israel. See, now that's where I wish I was better at this, because I should know what the transgression of Judah is. And the abomination I would only imagine is the great mocker. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be something as simple as just, having swine murdered and slayed on the altar, and the children of Israel being forced to eat it. I don't know, but I think the great mocker might be the abomination. So, anyways, and hath been committed in Israel and in Jerusalem, for Judah hath profaned the holiness of the Ishi, which he loved, and hath married the daughter, that's one, of a strange god. Now, I'm going to share a video shortly after this that might, and it just might be because I've just heard this recently. It's on my mind, that maybe this is connected. But one of the things one of the hobbies I like to follow up with is Mormons, and like I was introduced you to Travis Wayne Goodsoul. I watch his videos whenever someone else doesn't have any videos up, and one of his videos he did was on Micah 2, I think, no, Micah chapter 1, and he did a breakdown that I've never heard before, because he added in that Joseph Smith, what he taught about this part, where in the book of Micah, not Malachi, they're talking about the sons of the fallen, that Joseph Smith, he changed in his writings, that it wasn't the sons of God that did this, the fallen, that came to earth and slept with the men. No, I'm sorry. It was the sons, but it wasn't the sons who took wives, right? And like it says in Genesis 6, it was the daughters of the fallen angels who took husbands of men. Y chromosome of the man, now in the fish people, or whatever you want to call them. There you go. And I'm like, wait a minute. Joseph Smith is supposed to be a Freemason, right? 33rd degree. Remember, he made a friend with a Jesuit. The day after became a friend with a Jesuit, 2 days later he becomes a Freemason, a 33rd degree Freemason. Just pushed through the ranks. Which, don't forget, the Jesuits used the Masons as training ground for recruitments to move up to the next level, right? So I was just then he connects the whole Goliath, right? Because remember, David and Goliath are supposed to be cousins. The giants are supposed to be killed after the flood. So how would that survive through the flood, right? Unless it was not the father's Y chromosome, but it was the XY chromosome, right? So I'll share it with you. I just thought it was interesting because he says some stuff that's interesting, and he's got a whole bunch of stuff that's way off. Way off. The Mormons are Israel, that kind of stuff. But he does breakdowns on Osiris. Osiris is the body of Jesus. That whole communion. This is my body that's broken for you. That whole thing. That's Osiris's body being broken, and they're just copying that. That's why you'll see like the Catholic priest wearing the hat that looks like the mouth of Dagon, or it looks like he's dressed with a staff and an anchor. So, anyways, getting back to this though. So we're getting into the marrying the daughter of the strange god. See, now I wonder why that G is capitalized, because in the Blue Letter Bible, that's a lowercase g, right? I looked it up. It's a uppercase G. So why do the Catholics? This is the Catholic translation. Why do they hold this? Whoever this God is, this is important for them. Otherwise, that would be a lowercase g. That's how I look at that. Because why else isn't it not Lord, like lords are and stuff like that? So, the issue will cut off the man that hath done this. Doth he master and the scribe? No, sorry, the master and the scholar cut out of the tabernacle of Jacob, and him that offereth an offering to the Ishi of hosts. And this again have you done. You have covered the altar of the Ishi with tears and weeping and bellowing, so that I have no more a regard to sacrifice, neither do I accept an atonement at your hands. And you have said, for what cause? Because the Ishi hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, whom thou hast despised. So it sounds like they married these daughters of this strange God, then decided, you know what? Maybe these women are just not right. They're not like the traditional women we grew up with. These women are, yeah, you could think, you could think, man, these are just not right. And man, I just, I despise you. I want to put you away. And she said, not so fast, right? Yet she was thy partner and the wife of thy covenant. Did not one make her? And she is the what is that? Residue of his spirit. And what doth one seek but the seed of God? So this seems like it's saying something here that and I don't like this translation. But it's the Catholics, and like I said, I'm curious to see what they have hidden away in their writings. But it seems as if this is saying they married these daughters of the strange God. They decided that this wasn't for them. They wanted to put them away and divorce. But it seems as if it's saying right there where it says but she is thy partner and the wife of thy covenant. They have a covenant with her, which is supposed to not be broken, right? And did not one make her? And she is the residue of his spirit. So she is still a part of the one who made her from the beginning, right? Even though the husband clearly is despising her. And what does one seek but the seed of God? See, that's what I'm saying. I think that's a weird translation. The seed of God, that's got to be, what, man, right? Because it can't be God, the Most High. Because then you get into blaspheme in the New Testament stuff. That garbage, right? The Greek, the Hellenistic trash. This has got to be Adam, right? And Seth, and Abel, and Noah, and Enoch, and Methuselah. You get it. If I'm wrong, correct me. So, I think that's what it is, though. But the seed of God. Keep in your spirit, and despise not the wife of thy youth. When thou shalt hate her, put her away, saith the Ishi. the Ishi, the. See, that's why I was getting stomach, because it's the back to back like that. Say it, the Ishi, the Elohim of Israel. But iniquity shall cover his garments. Also, when you get to the point where you hate her, put her away. But guess what? There's an iniquity all over you for doing this, because you broke the covenant. He seems like you broke the covenant, even if it is with. Yeah, that's why it's got to be. You got to be careful who you marry. You got to be careful who you marry, because I mean, yeah, you got the ability to put her away, but now the Most High still he's holding this as an iniquity on you from the beginning. Jeez, I might be reading that wrong. Correct me, guys. You know, that's why I'm taking away from this. All because they stepped out and married the daughters of the strange God. So, say it, the Ishi of hosts. Keep your spirit and despise not. 17. You have wearied the Ishi with your words, and you say, wherein have we wearied him? In that you say, everyone that doth evil is good in the sight of the Ishi. Oh my goodness. That's what they're saying today. I gotta show you this clip. Oh my goodness, that's what they're saying today. And they in the church saying this. Is good in the sight of the Ishi, and such please him. For surely, where is God? Where is the God of judgment? They're saying that right now, today. Oh my goodness, I gotta the God of judgment, and think about it. They're doing this at a time where we, you, me, we that are trying to turn back to the Most High, clean up our bodies, clean up our mind, everything, trying to know what's looking for Him. We know judgment is at hand. We expect any night for it to pop off. And they're over here telling us, oh, you're wrong for that. That's not who God is. That's not what He feels. That's not what He thinks. All the judgment's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. But I would never want to be them. I'll show you what I mean.